Hello, I'm Alara, and today we're talking about turning your morning cup into a longevity ritual. For us over 50, coffee isn't just a beverage. It's a metabolic and cognitive booster. My rule is, never apologize for your coffee habit. Just make it the highest quality possible. The antioxidants in coffee are powerful. They are literally cleaning up cellular damage. And I call my morning cup my liquid focus, and it's an essential part of my morning routine. Problem #1, brain fog after 50. Caffeine is the perfect molecule to block the sleepiness chemical, adenosine, and snap your brain awake. Solution: delay your first coffee until 9:30 a.m. to maximize its effectiveness. Drinking it immediately upon waking wastes the natural cortisol surge you already have. My best writing and clearest thoughts happen exactly 45 minutes after my first sip. And Problem #2, metabolic sluggishness. Caffeine stimulates thermogenesis, essentially turning up your body's fat-burning furnace. Solution: drink it black or with clean fat before your morning movement for maximum calorie burn. I add a touch of grass-fed butter to mine. It's my keto coffee for sustained energy. Problem #3, the dreaded coffee crash. The crash happens because you drank it with sugar or a processed creamer. That's the real villain. Solution: eliminate all sugar and use only clean, whole food fats, or drink it black. A slow release of energy is the goal, not a quick, painful spike and plunge. Cheap, low-quality beans are often ridden with mycotoxins that inflame your body. Solution: invest in certified clean or low-toxin coffee beans. It is worth the price. I filter my beans like I filter my water. Purity is everything for an aging system. Problem #5, caffeine addiction and tolerance. If you need a cup to function, you've crossed the line from fuel to dependency. Solution: schedule a 3-day caffeine holiday every quarter to reset your system. I use green tea on my detox days. It's a gentle taper, not a sudden shock. Problem #6, the wrong kind of creamer. Those artificial sweeteners and vegetable oils are a chemical cocktail that sabotages your health goals. And solution: use heavy cream, whole milk, or coconut milk. If it comes from a cow or a plant, it's fine. I refuse to put something in my body that my great-grandmother wouldn't recognize. Let's talk about the coffee ritual for mental health. The physical act of grinding and brewing the beans is a mindful meditation in itself. My 10 minutes of slow brewing is my sacred, uninterrupted time to set intentions for the day. Never rush your coffee. Savor the aroma, savor the warmth, savor the moment. I use the ritual to practice gratitude for my energy and my focus. Let's explore the non-coffee morning boost for those sensitive days. Matcha gives me all the focus without the jittery peak and valley of coffee. It contains L-theanine, an amino acid that creates a calm, focused alertness in the brain. I call matcha my Zen focus. It's perfect for deep, concentrated work. Problem number 7, morning joint stiffness. Solution: blend a half teaspoon of pure cacao powder into your coffee for anti-inflammatory benefits. Cacao is packed with magnesium and antioxidants that reduce inflammation. It's a win-win.
Problem #8. Afternoon slump, the 3 p.m. droop.
Solution: reach for rhodiola or cordyceps, not another cup of coffee. These adaptogens manage the stress hormone cortisol and naturally lift energy without caffeine. I call rhodiola my cortisol manager. It helps me glide through the afternoon. Problem #9. Caffeine ruins sleep. If you drink coffee after 1 p.m., you are actively sabotaging your deep, restorative sleep. Solution: I enforce a strict 2 p.m. caffeine cutoff. No exceptions, ever. My deep sleep is worth more than any late afternoon productivity boost. Problem number 10, low mood or anxiety. Too much caffeine can elevate anxiety and make me feel emotionally scattered. Solution: switch to half-calf or decaf in the afternoon and integrate deep breathing. I check my body for tension. If I'm tight, I switch to herbal tea immediately. Let's talk ethical sourcing. Your coffee choices reflect your values. I only buy fair trade and organic beans. My health and the farmer's well-being are connected. A toxin-free body starts with toxin-free, ethically grown coffee beans. I use a French press because paper filters can absorb too much of the coffee's healthy oils. I found that the darkest roasts have fewer toxins, but the lighter roasts have more antioxidants. I choose the roast based on my current need: dark for low toxin, light for maximum polyphenol power. I make sure my grinder is set to coarse, and I don't want burnt, over-extracted coffee grounds. I use cinnamon in my coffee for flavor and to help stabilize my blood sugar response. And I brew my tea with a little fresh lemon peel. The aroma is incredibly uplifting. I use a simple 5-minute meditation immediately after my last sip to lock in the focus. I never drink coffee on an empty, stressed stomach. It must follow a nutrient-rich breakfast. I view my coffee time as my mental preparation for the day's creative work. I'm intentional about where I source my water for coffee. Tap water ruins the flavor and the benefits. I use a cold brew method in the summer. It's naturally lower on acidity and gentler on the stomach. I found that adding a dash of unsweetened almond milk creates a perfect creamy texture without the bloat. And training myself to love the taste of black coffee, and it's the cleanest, healthiest way to drink it. I use my coffee break to look out the window and let my eyes rest. Screen fatigue is real. I combine my first cup with a complex task, like learning a new vocabulary word or solving a puzzle. I'm experimenting with chicory coffee as a prebiotic. It feeds the good gut bacteria. I use a small, beautiful ceramic mug. The experience is half the health benefit. I make sure I have my protein first, then my fat, then my coffee. in that specific order. I found that a brisk 10-minute walk immediately after coffee amplifies the fat-burning effect. I use my second cup to reconnect with a friend. The social ritual is a powerful stress reducer. I consider my morning coffee expense an investment in my longevity and productivity. I use a small amount of sea salt in my coffee sometimes to enhance the flavor and provide electrolytes. I view my coffee intake as a fine-tuned instrument. I adjust the dosage based on my sleep quality. I make sure I drink 2 glasses of water for every cup of coffee. Hydration is paramount. I only buy whole beans and grind them just before brewing. Pre-ground coffee loses its healthy, volatile compounds. I use a specific type of dark, low-acid coffee because it's gentler on my aging digestive system. I've started making coffee smoothies with protein powder and spinach. It's fuel and focus in one. I never drink coffee on the run. I sit down, put my phone away, and fully immerse myself in the moment. I consider my coffee routine a cornerstone of my mental resilience against the chaos of the day. I use the caffeine window to perform my most difficult, creative, and willpower-heavy tasks. I remind myself, don't let the coffee run you, Alara. You run the coffee. I'm intentional about using my second cup as a creative booster, not just a slump antidote. I found that a cold glass of water before my coffee reduces the intensity of the caffeine hit. I tell my inner critic, I'll deal with you later. Right now, I'm focusing on this delicious productivity. I make sure to eat lots of potassium-rich foods, like avocados, to balance out the diuretic effect of caffeine. I use the caffeine to tackle boring, necessary tasks so I have more energy for joyful things later. And I've learned to appreciate the unique taste profiles of different beans, making it a mindful hobby. I buy my beans from small, woman-owned co-ops. My coffee supports female entrepreneurship. And I always keep my coffee beans stored in an airtight, dark container to preserve their freshness and oils. And I use a little vanilla extract instead of sugar. It fools my taste buds without the metabolic cost. I found that my memory recall is noticeably better on the days I stick to my optimal coffee routine. I schedule my toughest workout right when my caffeine peak hits for maximum performance. I use the mental alertness to write my daily goals in my journal before the day begins. I make sure my decaf is Swiss water processed to avoid all the chemical solvents. I use my mid-morning coffee break to reconnect with my breathing and stretch my back. I'm proud that I've transformed a simple habit into a powerful longevity tool. This cup is your fuel for creativity, kindness, and focus. I use the focus to practice my instrument. Coffee makes my fingers feel faster and more precise. I found that a small square of dark chocolate with my coffee amplifies the antioxidant power. I've learned that the secret to coffee happiness is moderation and absolute quality. I make sure my mug of bone broth is ready for the afternoon, so I'm not tempted by a third cup. I'm always checking for new, sustainable coffee innovations. Health and environment go hand in hand. I use the coffee time to read an inspiring poem or a passage from a philosopher. I make sure my kitchen is clean before I brew. A clean space creates a clean mind. I tell my husband, I'm unavailable for drama until this cup is finished. I use the focused energy to finally sit down and pay all my bills without distraction. I found that blending the healthy fat creates a foam that reduces the acidity on my stomach. I use a small, measured amount of Ceylon cinnamon for its anti-diabetic and flavor benefits. I consider my morning routine a sacred contract with myself, and coffee is the seal on that contract. I use the caffeine boost to plan the week's healthy meals and optimize my grocery list. I've learned that the best quality coffee has a fruity, bright taste, not a bitter, burnt one. I make sure to buy single origin beans. They are typically less mixed with lower quality grades. And I tell myself, no amount of coffee can fix a lack of sleep. Respect your body. I use my high caffeine days to tackle projects that require intense, sustained mental effort. I've started making coffee cubes to chill my iced coffee without diluting the flavor. I only use a high-quality sea salt with my electrolytes. Junk salt counteracts the benefits. I found that adding a dash of turmeric to my coffee boosts the anti-inflammatory power. I use my first cup to plan my hardest tasks and my second to execute them flawlessly. I've replaced my sugar cravings with a heightened appreciation for the complex flavors of good coffee. I make sure my last cup is always herbal tea. Winding down is as important as waking up. I use the time saved by a quick, focused breakfast and coffee for more creative work. I remind myself that every mindful sip is a decision to live brilliantly.